Hey Power Appers, this is Brian Knight from Pragmatic Works, and in today's video, we're going to show you how to implement and run a vaccine tracker and testing tracker for COVID-19 inside of your environment using Power Apps and Power Apps portals. So stay tuned. Welcome back. So this video consists of two major sections: what the vaccine tracker and the testing tracker can do, and then secondly, how you can actually install this in your environment. To install this, it's going to require a license of Power Apps. Power Apps is part of your, maybe part of your plan with Microsoft already. Power Apps is a Microsoft tool, and it will require Power Apps portals to host the website for your employees, your students, whomever, to upload their vaccine cards or negative test results. A few things about this. This is our second version of this, and Power Apps portals has changed since our last release. So in this release, a few things to note. We are not making a political statement. We are actually just trying to help the companies and the universities and counties implement the rules that they've been given. So just a quick heads up on that. Please don't let that show in the comments down below. We are just trying to help you out if you do have those rules you have to manage. Everything that we're going to give you as part of this is free. So we actually open source this so anybody can add more to it. They can modify it, customize it to their liking. So this will get you started in your journey of having to implement these rules at your organization. So let's see, first of all, what can this do? Well, first of all, the part of the Power App portal is a website like this. This is the default website when you install our solution. Again, the solution is going to be part of GitHub, and it's open source, so it's free for you to implement. Once I do this, I'll go ahead and sign in. The number of sign-ins you can turn on and off. You can have custom sign-ins. You can actually invite people yourself to your portal if you wish by having them register. They can redeem invitations, or we can use things like Active Directory if you so chose. Now, what you see on the external sign-in actually could be a number of things. It could be things like Google and Microsoft and Facebook and LinkedIn and so on and so on and so on. For the purpose of this video, by default, Active Directory is turned on, and when I click on that, it will ask me for my Office account, and once I sign in, it will redirect me and make sure that I have everything I need. Notice that Power Apps Portals has things like preferred languages. So I might see things in English and you might see them in Spanish, for example. When I go to my vaccine record, we can see that right now, I have no record right now on file with the company. So it does two things here. It has row-level security to where I can only see my own data. And as you can see, I have no vaccine record, no test results, and I haven't made an exception right now either. So I can hit the create button on any three of these to either create an exception or to create my vaccine record. Let me go ahead and create a vaccine record in my case here. It's going to ask me for my first date. All right, I'll pick some random date here. My second date was around here. My location was at Winn-Dixie, and my second location was at Winn-Dixie, and so on. My manufacturer might have been some Pfizer, and if I choose to opt out, it's going to ask for a reason and force me to put a reason in there for that. Also, if I had a third-party vendor, like you have sometimes in different countries, it will ask me who that third-party vendor is also. Next, we added for version 2 some booster information. Now, right now, we only had the first booster in here. If you have a second booster down the road a year from now, those fields are already here. We just have to check a box to turn them on at that point. Next, I'll upload my card. I'm going to go over to security here. I'll pick some random file here and I'll upload, and I'll hit next. Now you can control what types of files can be uploaded there as well and force them to upload certain types of images. Next, we have our attestation screen where you confirm that you are who you say you are and that the information was valid. And when I hit submit, the vaccine record has now been created. Now it's created and it's pending verification. So if you so chose, you can have a verification part as well. Now that part is done over here in the model-driven application. This application also free. I'm going to refresh this and we'll see that I have a vaccine record right now. There it is, it's pending. And when I select it, we can see my file upload on the right here. We can also go ahead and mark this as from pending to verified. And when I hit save, that record will now be out there as verified, and it's going to move that status that you saw earlier to verified also. Now, it may not do it quite yet because it's cached. It takes about 5 minutes for that cache to refresh, and as soon as it does, it will show as pending at that point also. I can also go back and delete this record if I so chose as well. The test results, very similar here. I can hit upload my test results. I just say I had a test result day on this day. My result was negative, and it was over at Winn-Dixie or whatever you want to do. And I can upload my file if I so chose also. You can also make this upload a required field as well to where they have to upload a file. By default, it's not, but you can make that. Again, this is test number 1002. As soon as I do that, I go to my test results, and we can see it's a negative test results of 1002. So that's basically what the app can do. You can see all of your logins right here, which is just one right now. And as I go through this, as I refresh, you can see it's been verified right there. So it's now showing as verified, and we're off to the races. So this is the core of what it can do. It has a portal application, which you're seeing right here, and you can control how that looks. The logos, everything can be themed to your own liking. And then it has a model-driven app where we can verify the vaccines and make sure we're compliant with the state also. All right, we have quite a few thousand people that are using this already that have given us some feedback, and we've made some changes based on their feedback in this latest release. And if you have any changes that you want, add them to our comments down below as well, and that will help us kind of make it better and better as well. So now, you've seen how do we do it. Now, how do we go through and actually install it? Well, the installation takes about 5 to 10 minutes to actually get to the point where you see here. This is the fresh install we're seeing right now. Now, you'll remember before, you actually have things like exporting to Excel and all those kind of things as well. It will create the login. As soon as I hit that Azure AD click there, and I use my username password from Office 365, it created the login that you see right here as soon as I did that. And my password's all kept in the system. Okay, so to install this, in the description of this video, you're going to see a few links. One is going to be to our GitHub site. And our GitHub site looks like this. Okay, this is a vaccine tracker with the latest release. Again, you can add comments to this as well. And the directions I'm showing you are right here, and I try to keep these up to date as well. Now, secondarily, you'll also get a link to the same thing you're seeing right here. I'm going to open this link up. There we go. This is to Microsoft's documentation on how to implement the tool to import this in. This is required for the Power Apps portal. Okay, so step one, I want to go over to my GitHub site, and I'm going to go to releases. We're on version 2.2 of this. I'll click on version 2.2, and then I'm going to click on the source code that you're seeing right there. That source code will allow us to go ahead and download the zip file that has everything we need. So I'll go ahead and click on that. It's going to download the vaccine tracker. Let me go ahead and open up that file. Let me bring it over to where you guys can see it. There we go. Oh, there we go. And then I want to extract this zip file, and it's going to contain 2 more zip files. So I'll hit extract all. I'll go ahead and put this somewhere on my download. I'll just call this just YouTube for the time thing. Vaccine tracker. All right, there we go. All right, there's my zip file, and inside that zip file are 2 more zip files. One of these zip files, the one you're seeing right here, is a solution that we need to install first in my environment. The second one we're seeing here is for the data for the Power App portal. So the steps to do this: first, we want to go ahead and create our Power App portal. Okay. Step 2, we want to install the solution. Step 3 is you want to go out there, and step 2 is this guy right here. That's step 2. And step 3 is to import the data. Okay, so let's walk through these steps to make sure you're good here. All right, so step 1, I need to go over to my environment that I want to install this in. Let me find a good environment. I've got one right here. I've just imported this because this takes about 5 minutes to import. It's only going to take about 30 seconds of your time, but about 5 minutes of the Power Apps time. So I go to make.powerapps.com. See it right there, make.powerapps.com. Once you're there, find the environment you want to install it in. Consult IT, and they'll tell you which environment to do this in. Now, once you do that, go home and hit the portal from blank. Okay? Once you do that, it's going to install Power Apps portals in this environment. It's going to have you give it a name of some sort, a URL of some sort. So I'll give it a name like vaccine tracker. I'll call this vaccinetracker.powerappsportals.com, and yes, you can customize this as well. Once you're done, hit the create button. I already have, make sure it'll actually check to see that domain name's already in use. This has to be unique for your environment. Once I do that, I hit the create button and it's going to implement my Power App portal. Now I'm going to hit cancel right now because I've already done those steps. So let me hit cancel. Now, once you do that, this portal, if I click on it'll actually install what you're seeing right here, this vaccine tracker, target, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to click on it just so you guys can see what it looks like here. Okay, there we go. So the core installation looks pretty boring. This is a core installation for a Power App portal. You got some pages in here, you've got some sign-in button and all of that, and you can customize that pretty easily. Okay, so that's our core installation. We can customize all that by hitting this little 3 dot next to what was installed and hit edit. Now, one important note here is when I actually hit the start a Power App portal from blank earlier, when I do that, it might take it about 45 minutes to actually install that. Not active time, but it'll actually send you an email when it starts, and it will send you an email when it finishes. So just do that over lunch or whenever you want to do it, just kind of let it do its thing. When it's all done, it will go from gray, so it's just iconically gray, to fully colored so you know it's ready to go. Okay, and then you can hit the little 3 dot, hit edit, and it will actually walk you through how to customize that. And I have a whole bunch of videos on how to customize Power Apps portals. You'll find that in the playlist down below as well. You'll see a link to that playlist. All right, so now we've got our Power App portal installed. Now I'm going to go to Solutions on the left side. Inside of my main environment, I'll hit Import, and you'll notice after I install the portal, all that stuff right there was installed. So I'm going to hit the Import button, browse out, find my zip file, and I want this zip file right here. It might be a different number by the time you watch this video because we're constantly modifying this. But find the one that says vaccine tracker without the word data to import. So not that one, you want to use this one right here. Once we select that and hit open, it will then validate a few things. We'll hit next, and then we'll hit the import button. Now I've already done this. So you see it already says the version's already installed. So I'm not going to actually do this right now. I'm going to hit cancel now. But when you hit import, again, that will take about 5 to 10 minutes to import. After it's done, you have this vaccine tracker solution with all the tables and all the necessary components to make this work, and the app. Okay, now our last step is actually importing the data. This is the tricky step that is a little more challenging, but most of the people that have done this have done it successfully. So let's show how to do this. First step, I'm going to open up PowerShell. So I'm going to hit start and type in PowerShell, which opens up this silly little box you're seeing right here. All right, I'm going to go and do CD /, go to my root directory. I'm going to make a directory. And you can make it in File Explorer or make it here. I'll do MD space DevTools. Now that's going to make a directory called DevTools. I'm going to go ahead and get that. And once it makes it, go to CD DevTools. Okay, now I'm in the DevTools folder. Now in the link on GitHub or here, you'll find a link to this little NuGet tool right here. And as you scroll down, copy this whole block of PowerShell code right here. Then go over to PowerShell, right-click to paste it in, and it's going to install all the necessary tools to import my data into your environment. The data it's going to import is the actual web pages, the security pieces, and the configuration for the portal. So it takes a few seconds to do this. Now, after you do it, I'm going to go over to my DevTools folder. Okay, where'd you go? Here we go. All right, and in the DevTools folder, I'll go to Tools, then Configuration Manager, and then Data Migration Utility. This is the utility by Microsoft, and for this, I'm going to import the data. I went ahead and did export data to give you the data. You're going to select import data to actually import it in. Then I'm going to select Office 365, and I'm going to hit display a list of available organizations, or just hit login. I'll just hit login. All right, it's going to have me log in. All right, and I've got to do my lovely two-form authentication probably. All right, waiting for two-form. There it goes. All right, smile at it. There we go. All right, there we go. All right, now that it's done that, oh, okay, lets me in. And then it's going to show me all the environments where I can import this data into. I want to use my same environment that I used earlier. These are environments that I have admin access to. So I'm looking for Brian deploy test. There it is for me. I'll hit login. We're almost done. Oh, there we go. Now, what file do you want to import? This is the second zip file that we extracted out. Make sure you extract these files. So for that, I'm going to go to my folder that we just imported out from. All right, there we go. There is my zip file right here. It's called data to export 2_2. When I select that and I hit import data, this process is going to take a few more minutes, probably 2 to 5 minutes, depending on how fast your machine is and your network connection. What's happening right now is it's pushing all those records over to your system. So it's not a huge ordeal, but it is a little bit of a work here. Now, after we do this, it's going to have one big gotcha because what it's basically doing is creating a new site on top of the old site. I had to do that to make sure I don't overwrite anything that you might already have in your environment. So I try to keep it very, very clean. This is open source, so it is use at your own discretion, of course. But as it imports this data in, it'll be just a few more minutes here. Looks like it's almost done. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and actually open that back up again. And I'm going to move this to a different screen. I think it may be done now. Oh, it's almost done. I'm going to move this to a different screen so we can kind of move on to other stuff. All right, so far we did step 1, creating the Power App portal. Step 2, we imported the solution. Make sure you do not import the solution until the portal has been created. And then lastly, step 3 is importing the data. Now, all those steps will take about an hour to do in total. Now, for you though, your active time may be only a few seconds, okay? But of total time to actually implement this. So now that we have this almost done, it's importing some more stuff. You'll see the kind of stuff it's importing. It's importing things like URLs and portal languages. This again does support multiple languages, so you can make this work. Let's talk about how we can customize this after the fact. So I'm going to go ahead and move this aside, and while it's importing, we'll look at some other stuff. So first of all, when you go to Solutions and go to your app here, you can look at things like the manufacturers, and there is a whole app to maintain this. So there is my app right here. There's my model-driven app, and I can select that, go to Edit, and go Edit and Preview, and that will let you customize the app. Then there's the tables. So things like test results right here. There are views that you can maintain. So there's my columns that I have. So let me actually go to Vaccine Tracker instead. So for example, let's imagine you want to have a second booster shot, kind of hypothetically right here. So you'll see I've got all the fields for the second booster shot already available to you. They're just not being used right now. So if I want to add that to your form, I would simply go to Forms, and you'll see right here, there is a form that's used on the website, on the portal side, and here is a form right above it that's used in the application. So I'll start on the application side. I'll hit the word information here. It will open up. And then I'm going to go ahead and add those custom fields. I'll find those over here. It says ABC. I'll hit ABC. I'm going to go ahead and filter this down to just the ones I care about by going custom. There's my second booster shots. And then I'll just drag those over wherever I want. And then I'm done. Okay. Then I'll hit save and publish. So now I can support things like second booster shots. In the future, you can also add your own fields by going up here. It says plus form field, and you can add your own fields right here where it says new table column. Now, you'll do the same thing on the Power App portal. You go back, and then you'll add the same thing on the portal side. So right here it says portal student vaccination. You'll hit the little 3 dot, hit edit form in a new tab. There we go. And this time it's going to go through, and I'll just go through and hit the little, oh, there we go. Wait till it actually go to my ABC here for the fields. hit the custom field, and I'll add whatever I want into this. This is exactly what it's going to look like for your customers, your internal customers, students, whomever you might have. So you can just drag those over, and then you're ready to rock and roll there as well. Okay, so that's the first piece there. We can also, you'll see the signature page, so you can change the verbiage right here, right over here. I attest it's all correct, yada, yada, yada. Change that to whatever you want. Now at this point, I just noticed the data is now complete. It's now ready to go. It took about 4.5 minutes there to do. So a nice stall technique there, Brian. Lastly, by the way, if you want to customize the views, let me go back here again one more time. The views power things like this right here. For you as an end user, so right here, it powers right here, these views, and also what you saw in the portal. If you want to customize that, you'll simply go over to the Views tab, and you'll see there are the same views here that you saw in portals. All you gotta do is drag and drop. So if I go to portal vaccine records there, if I want to change what's showing, what order it's in, or the sorting or the filtering, all I gotta do is drag and drop them exactly where I want, hit save and publish, and then you're ready to go. All right, so let's see how this looks now. If I hit refresh, I need to go to the other site here. I'm sorry, let me go back over here again. Let me go back, there we go back home. Now, everything has now been imported. Let's see one of the flaws that we have. They've changed now in portals. So if I go back to this portal, let me go ahead and browse out to it right here. We're gonna see it still says Contoso, and it still has no mention of things like portals. So the difference they've done now in Power Apps portals is you can have more than one site, and we had more than one portal even. So we have to tell it where we want to point that to. So if I go back to my test here, I hit the 3 dot that you're seeing right there. I go to Details, okay, and then I'll hit Settings right above it. Okay, alternative is where you can also add the identity providers and all those kind of things. Alternatively, you can also go to back there again, hit the portal, and then go to settings that way as well. It's the same thing. But ultimately, once we're here, we want to go to administration right here. Okay. Once we do that, we'll go ahead and sign in again. All right, hopefully. It's a little sluggish right now today, and it says working. But so what's going to happen after we sign in is the last step is asking us, where do you want to point this to? So where you see update portal binding, we want to change that to starter portal. This is the Pragmatic Works starter portal that we provided you. Once I select that, I can hit update. It will spend a few seconds now pointing it to the new site versus the old site, and then we'll walk through what it looks like next. This takes about 30-45 seconds to do this part also. All right, so what's happening, again, you can have multiple portals here. And it's basically, I wanted to make sure that I did not override your portal. So what's going to happen now is it's going to point it to my portal and not yours. Lots more we can do inside of here, but let's go back to the other site. Let me go over to this one right here, and I will hit refresh. And you'll see it still looks incorrect. So that's because things are cached. So in about 5 minutes or so, this will kick in. But I'm too impatient for that. Let me go back here again. All right. And I'm going to open up this portal for editing just to show you a few more things. I'm going to select the portal, hit the 3 dot, and hit edit. The last step I want to show you is how can you customize this. So when I look at this, you'll see what it looks like right here. See, I already have Pragmatic Works University, welcome to COVID portal, all those kind of things are all here. If I want to refresh the cache, I'll just hit that browse website button that you're seeing right here. Now, if I click on it, it's going to take about 10 to 20 seconds here to flush the cache, reload it, and open up a new tab inside of my browser. But that same environment is how you can customize this. Also, again, watch my other videos to see how to do that. All right, we're getting a little page not found. Let me go ahead and go back one more time. Okay, I think I've got it all updated. Okay, there we go. I'll hit the update button again, but let me go back here one more time here. And let's customize some stuff here. So you'll see I can just hover over stuff here and make any kind of changes that I want. So I can call this my company, university, whatever. And when I click away from that, it will go to saving to save there also. I'll hit sync configuration. That's the problem I need to do is I need to hit sync configuration to get all those changes over to my Power App portal here the first time only, and then I'll hit browse website, and hopefully that will wake it up here, and it will refresh the cache here. All right. There it goes. Finally, and it has my company up there also. So eventually it would have refreshed by itself. So that step was optional. The sync configuration, browse website is optional. But if I get impatient, I want to see it faster than the cache was willing to refresh for me, that's how I can do it. Now I can sign in, and a few things you're going to notice now. I have my app. I can go ahead and sign in with Azure AD. Now the first time I sign in with Azure AD, it's going to ask for permission for Azure AD to see the portal right here. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and consent on behalf of my organization. All this is saying is that this portal, not Brian, but this portal can read my account information out of Azure AD. No passwords, nothing gets transmitted outside of your organization. But it's just allowing me to use Azure AD to authenticate my user. Once I approve that, it will then sign in and I'll create my first account that way also. So it takes a few seconds the first time. You see the URL here says consent. So you're going to want to do that the first time to make sure your users will have access. They don't actually see that same message. There it goes. I'm logged in as Brian Knight. I can then go to vaccination record, and you'll see I'm basically in the same spot I was before, but with no data now at this point. The last thing you'll notice is back on that previous screen. All right, let me go back to make.power apps and go to my other environment. There we go. Go to my Brian test deploy. And the last thing you're going to notice, I think it's called deploy test. There it is. Last thing you'll notice is the application is right here also for your administrators. It's called Vaccine Tracker Vaccination App. And when you select it, there we go. Let me go ahead and just play it. Oh. Now, if you get something like this, let me refresh this real quick. It means that something has not been published. So let me go back here again. There we go. So if your play button, what's happening is it may not have published. I wanted to show you that one last thing. To make it do that, to force it to do that, just in case it's not published on your site, go back over to Solutions, go to your vaccine tracker, and just hit the Publish All Customizations button. As soon as you do that, everything is now available, and the play button will turn from gray to now solid there. Again, this will take a few minutes also, but in case it does not say published, that's how you can get around that issue also. All right, now a few things to keep in mind. That time you're watching this video, this is using version 2.2. It may be on a new release at that point. So just a heads up, your release might vary. But we try to document as well, and this is the second time I've done a video, but probably the 12th release of the application at this point also. All right, so if you have any questions, there's a few ways we can help you. We do a lot of training around Power Apps. So in case you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me at bknight@pragmaticworks.com. Again, that's going to be bknight@pragmaticworks.com. You can also, we do things like virtual mentoring to help you get unstuck. If you're trying this or you want to customize this, we can help you get unstuck. Or if you want to build it to your own liking from scratch, we also do hackathons to help you as well. So that is a number of ways we can assist you. That's just my favorite ways of the hackathons and virtual mentoring. Now you'll see that the publishing has now happened. So if I go back to that previous screen and go back home, we should now see that the Vaccine Tracker app, the actual model-driven app, is now clickable, and I can click on it and go right into the application from my phone or wherever, and I can see all the vaccine records, the test records, and my one account, my one token employee right now of me. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or anything you want to improve in this application, please leave some comments down below. We are actively watching those as well. But if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me through comments or through email. Please also subscribe if you want to see future things like this. You may have noticed on our GitHub channel, we have a ton of other open source solutions that we're adding out there also. If you're a university or a school, we have a whole bunch of free code out there as well. Thank you so much for watching us today, though, and have a great day. Bye-bye.